We are live. Woo! It's been too long. It's been too long. All right. Hello, hello, hello. Ryan Adams here, the Contractor's Contractor. Dominate your life. Woo! Got some stuff to talk about today. Winter is coming. Touch on that. Let's talk about some of the cocaine found in the White House. Reading the book, The Real Anthony Fauci. Want to talk about that for a couple seconds. Should we pay the lowest paid person at the company 10% of what the highest paid person at the company gets, whether it's the owner or whoever it is? Let's talk about that. Founding fathers, the philosophies, the philosophers that they listened to that helped put this beautiful, great country together. And winter is coming. What are you doing about it? All right, guys, let's get busy. Once you log in and start listening, ask some questions. Try to get a couple of guys to show up, but this was a last minute decision. Been traveling so much. Just want to get on here and share some thoughts with you guys. Let's see. Say hello. Ask some questions. All right. One, man, I've been out of touch, man. Haven't been on the internet that much. Not keeping track of what's going on. I'm seeing these memes with the White House correspondent lady with the white stuff underneath her nose going, we're checking into that. We don't know whose it is. So I had to look it up and said, man, what's going on? What am I missing? You take a couple of days off and just shit hits the fan. I guess they found some cocaine at the White House in one of the rooms, and they're acting like they don't have a clue who put it there yet. I mean, if you can sneak something like that into the White House and they don't have a clue whose it is, I mean, could that have been anthrax? Could that have been some type of bomb? Come on. Oh my God, this administration is a joke. Oh, it just makes the whole United States look like a joke. We've got a couple more years of this bullshit. This time next year, we will be in the middle of it. And these podcasts are going to be just something you don't want to miss. I'm going to be all over it, bringing in some guests, talking about it. But come on. You can't sneak something like that into the White House and just leave it laying around and act like you don't have a clue who it belongs to. My God, man. My God. Oh, man. I'll be in Idaho this weekend with the guy who's usually here with me, Anthony, not Fauci. From Sunshine Design and Build. We're going to play some golf this Saturday. I'm trying to get to Idaho early enough Friday that I can be in his office and we can do the podcast live in his studio. Still trying to make that work. Just got back from it was up in Big Bear for the 4th of July weekend on the lake with the fireworks. Before that, a day or two before that, I just got back from cross-country trip to Texas and back. Stopped in Tombstone, Arizona, took a buddy, dropped him off in Texas, rushed home, got to Big Bear, rushed home from Big Bear. Dave, I just sent you a link so you could be on here with me. Where you at, man? You in front of a camera so I can get you on here so we can talk some stuff? Big Dave Adams. Rushed home from Big Bear. Every year, some buddies of mine go up to the High Sierras. They've been doing it for over 30 years, just about, anywhere from 5 to 10 guys just hanging out, hiking, camping, talking crap to each other. And just a good time. Good time. So that's where I've been. But on the road to Texas and back, and then my other travels, I've been listening to the book, The Real Anthony Fauci. So I've never been a fan of philosopher. Coming this up. Let me check this dude here. Hey, Dave, I'm going to send you a link. If you are in front of the camera, you can jump on here. Let's see. Hold up with me, guys. Hold up. Got Craig Shoemaker over here. The one and only great comedian. Let's see. If Dave is all right. We're back. So I'm telling you, man, I'm not a fan of big pharma. I'm not a fan of doctors that prescribe any medication before telling you you need to change your effing habits. It's up to you. Please, there's 3 or 4 areas that are too important to hand over to other people, meaning one, your education. I mean, you've got to do your due diligence, whether it's something I'm sharing with you or teaching you through my YouTube channel, whether it's schools, books, anything, man, you've got to do your due diligence. Find out who's sharing the information with you. There's a big difference between book smart and real life smarts in all areas. Last year, we bought the domain name. I'm looking for a location, meaning I'm looking for a state. I'm looking for a city in a state. We want to open a full-time martial arts studio and start impacting individuals again. That will be probably where I retire and spend most of my time. But we bought the domain name Street Realistic MMA. Dave, I sent it to a Messenger. Click on Messenger. So I'm not a fan. So one, your education, your finances, don't just hand it. I mean, you got to read these books. You've got to get these books, people. I'm not a reader. I get the audio books and I listen to it, and I'll get the book and I'll read along. I'll read the book as the audio book is playing, but then I'll do 3 or 4 different ones on finances and investments. And you've got to understand how 401ks, I don't want to say the worst investment, but they're up there. You got to know that because people aren't telling you that. Your religion, whatever your religion is, your spirituality, don't hand that just to one person, one area. I mean, learn about all religions, man, just all of it. But definitely number one is your health. Do not just you guys, not me. I did for a time. But you think because they're wearing a white jacket and got that thing hanging around their neck that they know what they're talking about. They do not. They do not. I repeat, they do not. Don't listen. Don't turn your life and your health over to so-called doctors. Please, please, please. If you do nothing else, watch the documentary series on Netflix. I'm pretty sure it's Netflix. Dope Sick. Michael Keaton is the star, one of the stars of it. This guy. And you realize how much doctors do not know. It's the opioid, Oxycontin, that whole epidemic. And doctors are just listening to marketers, and I'm a marketer. So they're telling these doctors to prescribe this stuff and just making up stuff of what it does and that it's not habit forming, and they're promising what it's going to do. And the doctors are just, okay, and prescribing it. And then they're just giving them incentives. And then the doctors are coming back saying, well, hey, you said it was going to do this. It's doing this. And they're just making up shit going, oh, yeah, that's called reoccurrence, something. So you need to prescribe a double dose and 2 doses. It's like the bullshit vaccine and then the booster. And I seen a comedy skit the other day. It's like the guy said, what's the difference between the booster and a vaccine? And the guy's like, I don't know. A booster is a vaccine. It just sounds better when you say booster. So you're not getting 8 vaccines for the same fucking sickness. It's such a joke. So I've never been a fan of doctors, never been a fan of pharmaceutical products, by no means. Reading the book by Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s the author, the book, The Real Anthony Fauci. As bad as I knew it was or thought it was, it's probably 1,000 times worse. I'm telling you, you've got to educate yourself. You got to buy into this. Hey, Big Dave Adams, we got him over there. We got Brian Adams and Dave Adams.
That's right.
A podcast together. Does it get any better? I mean,
no, of course not.
One Adams is good. 2 Adams is better than good. It's great.
Heck yeah, and it's spelled the right way.
It's spelled the right way. Done this John Adams ADD. Come on, what are you doing? Hey, what are you doing to me, John Adams ADD? That shit doesn't even exist. Get
That's right.
that other D out of your name. How have you been, man? I haven't talked to you for so long, too long.
It's been a long time, Brian.
Hey, man, so go ahead. Real quick, give us the 3-minute synopsis of who Dave Adams is, the background. So I know you. These people watching may not.
Oh, shoot, man. You're the contractor's contractor. So I had a little bit of experience growing up installing and refinishing hardwood floors. Used to spend summers in Jersey. Man, hot summers in Jersey installing hardwood floors, mostly gymnasiums, doing game lines, all that kind of crazy stuff. That was a blast. However, I've moved into retail management. I was running Walmart stores for, 11 years. And then I am now a certified high performance coach. So now I work with entrepreneurs and help them hit the next level.
And explain a little bit about the whole next level, high level performance. I know you've worked with a lot of people from big corporations and even hospitals, and I'm sitting here talking shit about doctors. But but they need you. So and unfortunately, I say I'm talking shit about it, but it takes so much to get a degree to become a doctor. You have to be narrow focused and narrow minded to achieve almost anything. So when they're doing this, trying to get that degree, they're not seeing all of that. And I think that's the problem. But I know you work with a lot of higher up individuals. Explain a little bit about that.
It's interesting when you're, talking smack about doctors. A lot of them, actually, the ones that I met, they're like, no, I didn't do it. I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Everybody thought I got it, but I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Right. And so when the truth starts coming out, it's like, no. And I recommended my people didn't get it too.
Yeah.
Right. So there's that side of it. But anyways, I've worked with the senior executives in the hospital. Again, I ended up coaching an entire leadership team in one hospital from one end to the other. Absolutely fantastic. Manufacturing facilities. When it comes to entrepreneurs, small business owners need somebody to vent to, somebody to talk to, and usually it shouldn't be your spouse. Why? Because the spouse, you take all your bad energy out on her. She takes it out on the kid goes out and kicks the dog. My whole MO is I save dogs.
Yeah.
Right. I get you back into your personal leadership. You take personal responsibility for who you are, your energy, what you bring to the world, and we can leave work at work. And when we're home, we can be present with our spouse, present with our children, and really live the life that we were designed to live.
Yeah.
Right. So
go ahead. But because the years I worked with, Jim Rohn, Les Brown, Les had said once, and he says it more than once, but it stuck with me. And I think about it probably every day, but it's, you can't see the picture when you're the frame. And I'm like, man, and I just think about it. But if you're an entrepreneur, a small business owner, even a high level executive manager, is you're in it. You're the picture. You're in it. You're living it, and it's hard to see it from an outside situation. And in every trade of construction, no matter who it is, once you're finished and as great as is whether you're the best hardwood floor guy, the best painter, the best whatever it is, someone can always come in after the fact and meticulously pick it apart and find things wrong with it. So hiring someone like you or having a coach and business coach, personal coach, all of that, they need, because they're living in the picture. They need the frame. They're the frame. They can't see the picture. They need someone like you looking from the outside and seeing a whole different perspective, and someone to really talk to and walk them through, brainstorm ideas off of. Because I know even myself, like even the guys that I was around this weekend, is I end up being like the guy with his own business. They think I'm Mr. Successful and all this other crap. So they usually say something and they all turn to me going, hey. But I need that group to where I need to turn to someone for the higher level, answers and suggestions, and what book should I be reading next? What seminar should I be going to? All of that stuff. We need that, and people don't have it. And I don't know, for whatever reason, we're not told that in school for sure.
Brian, why do you bring guests on your podcast?
A different opinion, a different view, someone to bounce ideas off of.
Exactly. Because when you collaborate, greater ideas come to play. Yes. Right? Where one or two are gathered together.
Boom, 11.
We get some synergy going, right? We get some ideas popping out of there.
Especially when they're both Adamses.
Heck yeah. Hey, come on. It is rather interesting though, because when you start looking at people, it's not like you don't know what to do in your business.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need somebody to walk it through with.
Yeah.
Somebody to vent to, somebody to bounce your ideas off of, somebody to talk your ideas through with that may have a different perspective, that may have seen something different than what you've seen. Right. And that's it. If you want to change your perspective, change where you are. Climb the tree.
Yeah.
Get up on top of the mountain. Climb on the shoulders of somebody else who's already been there.
This dude in Texas says he's got us on the big screen. That is scary.
Oh man, I should have shaved this morning.
Hey, so earlier before you got on, I don't know if you heard me talking about the White House says they found some cocaine in one of the rooms, and they're not sure who took it there. How in the hell can the most secure business on the planet? Mm-hmm. I mean, if you can sneak in some cocaine and leave it there, what about anthrax and a bomb or anything? What the hell is going on in Washington?
Yeah, Brian Adams, they know whose it is. They know who dropped it. They know who didn't pick it up. The story has changed so many times as to where it was, who has access, who doesn't have access. We all know it's in a highly secured area. Very few people have access, and everybody knows whose it is. It's not a big mystery. If it looks like a duck and it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, maybe it's an elephant. Who knows?
Oh my
right?
God.
Maybe it belonged to the elephant.
What's up, everybody at Charlie Ingles' house? Say hello. Say hello to these guys. Hey, Charlie's in Texas with you, Dave. Matter of fact,
hey, Charlie.
I had breakfast with you. And then I went to a lunch meeting, and then that night I spent the night at Charlie's house. Man, it's such a great guy, great host. Him and the wife, and he's a hardwood floor dude. But I don't know that real Anthony Fauci. I'm telling you, I've been on this crusade to get as many people as I can to buy and read this book or listen to this book. Everything that he did with COVID and the thousands and hundreds of thousands of people that he helped kill with COVID, he had done the same thing 30 years earlier with the AIDS epidemic. And come to find out, listening and reading this book, you're not even sure if AIDS is a real thing. There's some drug called poppers. I've never even heard of this drug, and I was a kid of the 80s when the AIDS thing came out. I was in midstream going to all the disco bars and hanging out, and so AIDS was on our mind. Trust me, it came out, and everybody was looking around at everybody else, going, "What the hell? What the heck?" Because we were all trying to meet. All singles were trying to meet other singles, and this popper drug. I guess that popper drug is. When people pass out and the doctor or someone will snap this thing in front of their nose and they wake up all super heightened. So I guess that's what it is. And they're running the pharmaceutical drugs companies that are selling this drug poppers, running ads in all these gay magazines. And it was so bad. All these gay bars were selling it because it was the drug of choice for homosexual men. It relaxed your muscles, hint, hint. It just gave you a whole lot of energy. And they were saying that it was so bad that they would say last call for alcohol and poppers. So, but it killed your immune system. And that was what the thing was. And all the drugs and the needles and everything was about destroying the immune system. And that's what AIDS was. And they still don't have a real, they try to blame it on HIV, but that's been proven over and over again that HIV has nothing to do with AIDS. As in, they would test people, with Arthur Ashton, the tennis player. If you can't, I'm not saying his name right, but he was a straight guy. But they tested him. They were testing everyone. Like you say, go get tested, just like COVID. So if you had HIV, oh my God, you could develop AIDS, and nothing could be further from the truth. So then they're trying to prescribe this drug, and there were a lot of over-the-counter medicines that would fight and help you rebuild your immune system, just like during COVID, like with the chloroquine and the
hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah. What's the other one? The other one was even better. I can't think of the name of it, but they're over-the-counter drugs that have been given out for the last 50, 60, 75 years, never had a problem with them. The only problem with them is the patent had expired and they're only like $3 a prescription, not $3,000. So So that's why they've got to tell you, no, that shit doesn't work, because
you can't have an emergency. You can't create an emergency operation if you have drugs on the market that actually work.
Yeah,
that was one of the things. So they had to disprove it or talk it down or make it look like it wasn't effective at all in order for them to be able to pull the nonsense that they pulled.
Yeah. So he did the same thing with the whole AIDS epidemic. There were plenty of over-the-counter drugs that would work and help you rebuild your immune system, but he's trying to sell his drug because him and all the doctors that are working with him and stuff, they all own a portion and residual income from the medicine that they help create through pharmaceutical companies. I mean, the whole thing is a scam. I mean, it's like, I hope, I would honestly vote for him just to get him in the White. I like a lot of stuff that he talks about, but if he would go after the pharmaceutical companies, I'd vote for him just for that. But if you've seen the movie with Matthew McConaughey, where he lost all that weight, called the Dallas Buyers Club, he was up for an Oscar. I don't know if he got it or not, but there were a lot of these buyers clubs all across the country, because the drugs that we used to be able to get here for almost free, Dr. Fauci and his BS, I don't even like calling him doctor, Anthony Fauci, his group were outlawing them. So these guys had to go down to Mexico, buy it, bring it back, and start handing it out to all of their friends, trying to keep them alive. And this went on for years and years and years, almost still going. It's I'm telling you, it's mind altering. Just it boggles the mind that they can get away with this. And he's been getting away with it for 40, 50 years, not only AIDS and COVID, but the whole vaccine thing. I was never a anti-vaxxer, whatever that shit is. But I do know with my daughter that's 22, with her low immune system and always needing the inhaler and the asthma and allergic to a lot of stuff, all because of these, vaccines. He says, and even the weight, overweight epidemic it's all been designed over the years for just money, just coming up with pills and viruses and all this other shit, and then making up the disease, all in the name of money. And he even says in one of the interviews I watched, he says, and he's in his mid 60s. So he says, if you're in your mid 60s like me, look around. You went to high school, you went to college, you grew up. How many kids did you see with autism? I'll answer it for you. None. Maybe one out of millions or something. The number is way up there, and now it's like one in every 13 or something. And it all started way back when they started giving, instead of 11 vaccines they give the children, and they didn't even need those. Now it's up to 75 or 77, something ridiculous. And everybody says, oh, well, we cured measles and mumps and all this other stuff. And it's like, no, that's been proven not to be true. It came along. They started giving out the vaccines once we've got electricity. So now we've got refrigeration, so the food doesn't get spoiled. Running water, hot water in the house, so you're washing your body, washing the food. It really is the technology that got rid of measles and mumps and all this other stuff. It always came back to your immune system, David. It always came, back then, eating poor nutrition, not washing yourself, eating food that's bad and was spoiled. It always had come back to your immune system, because
So
we're different religions, but we both know that God created this miracle body, and it takes care of itself.
My mom grew up, Brian Adams. My mom grew up on an Indian reservation, swimming in pools of cow crap and swallowing that shit. I mean, this woman grew up in some of the hardest times. Sometimes all they had to eat was what they called lumpy dick, which is where they boiled flour, and that is what they had to eat. That's it. Nothing else. And they lived on that sometimes for months. Right? So crazy that their immune systems came out super strong. This woman is her body fights everything off, right? Just super tough. Two of her brothers ended up professional boxers, right? They won the featherweight championship and held it for 4 years, and another one fought for it twice. But they were strong and hard people because they built their immune systems up eating and just doing crazy stuff, right? Growing
Yeah.
up in a horrible situation, the body modifies itself to take care of those things. And when you start talking about autism,
Yeah.
Patrick Bet-David in his interview with Andrew Tate after Tate got out of prison.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he's still on house arrest, but
Yeah.
while he's on house arrest, he says, they did a study, and 80% of the people with the alphabet, 80% of them, the T in the alphabet, 80% of them are on the spectrum of some type for autism. 80%.
80.
So 80%. Crazy.
Yeah.
Right? Crazy. But who knows? Coincidence?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like we need more, like us talking about it. People need to say, "Oh man, those guys are full of shit," and start doing your research, man. Start listening to some of these long-winded podcasts with Patrick Bet-David and Joe Rogan, and I mean, there's so many of them out there. Vivek, I love that guy. I love what he's doing. Trying to help boys become men and women become women. It's maddening right now. And if you're watching this right now, Google lard. Lard is I ate it as a kid growing up, and then everybody told you how bad it is. But come to find out, we probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the lard. The way they, it was like how great it was. Not so much for you, but it's not unhealthy like they say it is. The fat, we all need fat, but lard, you can make this lard, put meat in it in the jar, put the lid back on it, and it preserves it. You can use that meat to go across the country in a wagon. Crisco, baby, that's it. Now we're cooking with lard. But it's just the stuff that and it seems like the more we learn about what they did in the 1700s and 1800s to survive, it's the same shit we should be doing right now instead of all this fabricated crap that pharmaceutical companies and manufacturers are creating to try to make us healthy, and all they're doing is making us even more sick. It's just, oh man, I'm passionate about it because it's like people we're not educating ourselves, and it's not that we're not educating ourselves. David, is we're most of us are just trying to get by. I mean, honestly, we're trying to pay the bills. We come home. We don't want to fight with the wife. The kids are doing something. We want to try to go see a baseball game that their son is playing in, or dance recital our daughter's doing. Watch a show on TV, and that's not enough. It's like you've got to fight back. You've got to take responsibility for yourself, man. It just and I want to talk about the founding fathers in a second or two. But if you look back before we had internet and TV and all this other stuff, you grew up with nothing. You worked all day in the field, but you sit around and you read these books. You read these philosophy books like Thomas Paine's Common Sense and some of the philosophers I'm going to talk about later in a minute. But their time wasn't wasted. And I don't want to say our time is wasted because I love TV as much as the next guy. I want to be entertained also. I want to get my mind off of the crap that I'm just bombarded with every day because I'm trying to educate myself more and more and more so I can share with friends and podcasts like this. But I don't know. What do you think, Dave?
Brian, when all you said it, personal responsibility.
Yeah.
You're hearing so much from one side over and over and over and over and over again. The programming's ridiculous. The CIA has been in charge of that for decades.
Yeah.
Just programming the people with what they want you to know and what they want you to think. Well, when was the last time you heard something you're like, why would they want me to believe that? Who's saying something the opposite? Where can I get the absolute opposite? I don't care if you're on the left. I don't care if you're on the right. If somebody on the right saying something, you better be listening to something on the left.
Yeah.
Get some perspective and make a damn decision. But to listen to one side of the story over and over and over and over again to where you're so blind that you can't even see something happening in front of your own damn face, we have a problem.
Yeah.
Right. And until people speak up, step up, have conversations with their neighbors, turn off the fucking TV and do something about it.
Yeah. 100%.
We're just going to be in the same boat that we're in.
100%.
Just get worse.
100%. You mentioned Andrew Tate earlier. He uses the metaphor like the Matrix, and there probably is no better way to explain it. But and in the movie The Matrix with Keanu Reeves is who are these guys in the suits that are always trying to kill him? They call them something. What do they call those guys? I can't think, but they're not
Agents.
the police agents.
They're
They're agents
Yep.
because they just and if you see it, like one part, he's in the subway and the bum is sitting over there with the alcohol, and then the bum sees him, and so the bum immediately turns into an agent. So Andrew Tate is saying, look in your own life, he said, and that bum will turn into an agent like that. As soon as, like, they could be your best friend, you can sit there and you're talking about all this stuff and you're this and you're that, and you mentioned, well, yeah, man, but I didn't get the COVID shot. They become an agent. What are you talking about? You didn't get a COVID shot. You didn't you didn't get the boosters either. If you didn't get the COVID shot, and they immediately become one of those agents. And you're laughing and I'm laughing, but shit, man, it's funny. And not just COVID, but even, like, I can talk to anybody about politics. I don't care. It's like I believe what I believe, and I believe what I believe for things that I've been through and through my whole life. And evidently other people believe what they believe for what they've seen and what they've been through and stuff. And I'm not trying to change their mind. Let's just talk about it.
Hey,
they become an agent.
When you bring that up, Brian, I was in a conversation. I had multiple conversations with the CEO over and over and over again. I had these conversations as the COVID is coming out and all these things are going on. And I remember the day that she
enjoy, Charlie. Enjoy that grill. Go ahead, keep going.
No, I just remember that. I remember the day she turned into an agent, like literally just like that overnight. So somebody got to her and totally flipped her, and she flipped to this day.
Yeah,
it just is what it is, you know.
So when I heard him say that, I was laughing my ass off because it's funny because it's true. You're surrounded by these freaking agents, and all you have to do is say something that they don't agree with. As long as you're saying shit they agree with, they're your best friends, and oh yeah, that guy's a great dude, isn't it? And as soon as you say something they don't agree with, they're like, and they become that freaking agent, and they're ready to kill you and ruin you. It's but anyway, I'm just telling you, it was like, I wish everybody would read or listen to The Real Anthony Fauci. It is mind-boggling, and I'm still like 3/4 of the way through it. If you don't want to spend that kind of time with the book, the 3-hour interview with him on the podcast of Joe Rogan, I tell people all the time, I say, just listen to the first 10 minutes of that episode. Because the first 10 minutes of that episode is Joe Rogan apologizing to Robert F. Kennedy for buying into all the BS about him. So as soon as he heard he's a quack, so he immediately just started, anytime someone mentioned Robert Kennedy, oh, that dude is a quack, or he's a quack, the vaccine thing, he's a quack, he does this, oh, that guy's a quack. Just, he bought into it, all of it. And then when COVID happened, he started, saying, he go, well, wait a minute, that doesn't seem right. I'm a reasonable guy. I can think for myself. That just really does, 2 + 2 doesn't add up to be 5. And so a couple of things like that started happening. So he starts re-looking at this Robert Kennedy dude going, well, wait a minute. Some of the stuff he says is okay. And they happen to be in a hotel, restaurant, bar / up in Aspen at the same time. And, they're walking by each other, looking at each other like, hey, I think that's Robert F. Kennedy. Hey, I think that's Joe Rogan. And they start talking, and Joe Rogan's like, you're not the devil. I've been told you're the devil, and you seem like a decent guy. And so then he starts researching and looking at everything, going, well, wait a minute. And so the whole podcast is great. And just like always, someone was talking shit to Joe, going, hey, that's irresponsible of you to let someone like that get on your show and talk that BS. And he's like, hey, it's like, my show is open. Come on here. Please come on here and debate him. Matter of fact, I'll give $100,000 to your favorite charity. And everybody's seen that. And I think Patrick Bett said, yeah, I'll give $100,000 or maybe $200,000. And some other people said they'll throw in, I think it got up to like $5 million, and no one will come on and debate him. And he's like, look, let's just talk about it. And in that book, The Real Anthony Fauci, with all the stuff that, no one can, they're not trying to sue him for slander, because suing him means you have to go to court, and nobody wants to go to court. Nobody wants to debate him. They want to sweep it under the rug. Google wants to delete everything. Facebook wants to delete everything. It's just like, don't let it be talked about. Don't let it be talked about. It's and like you said, the CIA has had control of it forever.
Yeah. Decades and decades.
Yeah. So I don't know. Anyway, research this dude, Robert Kennedy. He's kind of hard to listen to, because it sounds like, as he's talking, if you've heard him, his voice is kind of raspy. It just sounds like it's painful. And that's because he had some kind of like a neurological something in his brain that made it that way. But he'll tell you is like he's not a anti-vaxxer. He's vaxxed. He's got all the vaccines. His kids got all the vaccines. He wishes now that they didn't. Now that he researched it, but he did like he's asking everybody else. Hey, let's look at this. What's going into these vaccines? Who's controlling it? Who's all of that? So, and Anthony Fauci was up until he retired, I think last year, he was the highest paid government official over everybody, more than the president, more than all of it, and that's just his pay. That didn't take into consideration all of the money that he gets from he's on all these patents for all these vaccines and other drugs, and the people who work with him are also getting residual income from it. It's mind-boggling. I can't say it enough. Anyway,
follow the money, baby. Follow the money. It's all
hey,
about control.
So a buddy of mine, Facebook buddy of mine, and hopefully we'll meet this year. He's down in Florida, but he posts some really good stuff, and that's why we ended up kind of following and going back and forth with each other. But he posted last week, and he's a big time capitalist. He's a business owner, but he was just saying, "Hey man, let's have a conversation. Should it be, like say the owner of the company, the founder of the company gets $1 million a year, 10 million a year. Should we make it to where the lowest person at the company, say the janitor, whoever it is, on minimum, should he get say the least he can get paid is 10% of what the highest person gets paid? Let's equal it out. Let's spread the money around." And I was like, "Dude, are you serious? Or is this a joke post?" And he goes, "No, I just want to have the conversation." And I know where he's at. He's probably mid-30s or something, and he's making more money than he probably is used to making, and maybe starting to feel a little bit guilty, and we should spread the wealth around. And I'm like, and I took a quote from Jim Rohn, and I'm like, "Dude, we don't get paid by the hour." That's right. People make the mistake all the time. It's thinking, "Oh, I get paid $20 an hour." It's like, no, if that was true, you could sit home, they'd send you the check. You get paid for the value that you put into that hour. So if you want to get paid more, you want to become worth more, you got to become worth more. You got to put more value into the hour, wherever it is. And you've got to have the incentive, because if everybody's getting 10% of what the main guy gets, that may be enough to where you go, "Shit, that's all I need." And everybody's just going to show up and not do anything. I'm getting
Brian.
What do you think?
I walked up on a dude working for me, right? He's working for me. I walk up on him. He's got a book in one hand. He's reading a damn book, and he's trying to face, pull everything forward on the shelves. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, if Walmart paid me more, I'd work more. I'd work more. I'm like, "Oh, really?" I said, "Don't lie to me. Look at this. You're reading a freaking book. You're not even doing your job. You're not even doing half of what you're being paid to do." He says, "Don't lie to me, and don't lie to yourself. You would never do more if I paid you more. In fact, you probably do less." Right? Because it's not in you to do more.
Yeah.
Doing more comes from here, right? It comes from initiative. It comes from wanting more out of life. So it's interesting, because when I started back over in retail, I started out as an overnight stalker. You know this, right?
Yeah.
So I was an overnight stalker, and I made the decision when I went in on the first day. I'm like, "You know what? I'm a fat boy. I got to lose some weight. So I'm going to let this company pay me to work out." So I went in there and I busted my tail, and I ran circles around everybody in the building. I dropped a bunch of weight. My supervisor pulled me aside and said, "You need to slow down. You're making us all look bad." I'm like, "You're right. I am making you look bad." She actually reached out to me the other day looking for some advice the other day. And I'm like, "Look, you got to make a decision that you want more." So anyways, to balance out what people are making, you could try it, and you're going to end up right back where you started. Right. Every time that is tried, it doesn't work. Society collapses. It's a train wreck.
During COVID, with all the stay home and we'll send you money, should have proven that to everyone. And I've heard it said, and I don't know if it's been proven or if it can be proven, but if you took all the money that's in existence and spread it around evenly, within a matter of years, the rich people would have it and the poor people would be broke.
Who has
not about the money? It's the mindset.
Who has all those trillions right now? Where did all those trillions end up, Brian?
Yeah.
The wealthy have it.
Yeah.
The wealthy ended up with it already.
Yeah. Right? Elon ended up with more. Zuckerberg ended up with more. Amazon ended up with more. The pharmaceutical companies and the Congress people who were with them ended up with a whole lot more. And talk about free vaccines. What the hell is free? They're hundreds and hundreds of dollars for each booster shot, and it's not a booster. Call it, you're getting 8 vaccines for the same freaking drug. It's the mindset. So, and that's what I was telling my buddy in Florida is like, you somehow and I don't think you can instill in someone to want more. I mean, I for whatever reason, whatever happens, I don't know how that happens. I've been trying to figure it out for over 40 years. But it is education, and the person has to want more. And once he wants more, the answers are there. But I don't know. You definitely can't pay them to want more.
It's conflicting values.
Yeah.
Right. Once we figure out how to align our values with what we actually want, some people won't want a whole bunch more. Maybe they just want maybe just happy living in an apartment, and that's okay. That's success to them.
Yeah.
And, I'm never going to put that down because that's what they want.
Yeah.
But if they want more, but somehow they're not able to get it, and they don't know why they're not getting it, it's a values conflict every single time. So we have to rewire the brain to something more, to something greater, because it's the inner beliefs that always get in the way, Brian. You know that. We are where we are because of what's going on right here between here and here. That's why we're where we are. Our 100%. Income level is where it is because of this right here and the lack of action. I mean, you can't manifest stuff into existence without the law of action taking place at the same time, right? We have to have both. People have got to be able to do the work as well as think about what they want and manifest what they want through visualization process. But man, you got to do the work. It ain't just coming to you.
100%. And I think, and pay attention to this part of the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. It's the dumbing down of America by giving away trophies for free. You can't give away someone's self-esteem. It has to be earned. And I say that because for me, I had absolutely no self-esteem, no confidence, no anything. As a kid growing up, and I'm saying kid, I'm saying 16, 17, 18, was on welfare my entire life. I thought, man, if I could ever get a job and get that minimum wage going, if I could get up to like $8 an hour, that'd be like $400 a week. I could get a nice 2-bedroom trailer. What would I do with all the extra money? Wow. I joined martial arts. And I start building my self-esteem, start feeling better about myself. And then I start thinking, damn, if I can do this, what else can I do? And so you do that a little bit extra. And then you go, well, shit, I didn't think I could ever do that. But man, so you're building that self-esteem. And we need to be doing that as little kids. You got to go through the shit. There's just no other way around it. You got to go through the shit. That's the only way you build your self-esteem. You got to go through the pain. You got to get hit. You got to get beat up. You got to get back up. But martial, and I tell people all the time, it's like, martial, I am who I am. Everything I have, I owe to martial arts. Like, oh, well, God deserves the credit. I'm like, well, God put me in martial arts. It was getting my ass beat, knowing that, hey, wait a minute, I didn't die. That wasn't as tough as I thought it was going to be. Maybe I can do something else. And at the same time I was going through martial arts, I was getting pretty darn good at this trade called hardwood flooring, to where I was like, wait a minute, I'm better than anybody else here. I deserve more money. If you ain't going to give it to me, somebody else is going to give it to me. Well, we'll give it to you. What do you mean? Of course we're going to give it to you. And then that just capitalized to where you go, well, shit, I can only make so much money working for this dude. I got to get my own license. I got to be working for myself. I'm doing better in martial arts. I'm teaching. I'm feeling really good about teaching martial arts. Now I'm helping people become better. And then they're coming to me with life problems. So I'm going, wait a minute. You're telling me all this stuff that happened to you, and you're giving me all these excuses of why you can't make it in the real world outside, meaning the outside of the martial arts studio. I'm like, dude, you're crying to the wrong party, dude. Everything you saying, I had 100 times worse. So no, I'm not feeling sorry for you. It's like, suck it up, punk ass. Those are things that made you tougher, or should have made you tougher. And so we just went on and on and on. But it was the self-esteem, it was the confidence, and then capitalizing on that. And with that being said, I'll tell you 100%, I have 10% of what I could have. Like, I could have a much bigger house and more houses and all of this other stuff. And but I don't want to change. I don't want to trade that kind of time to have that much amount of money. And I never did. I wanted the Disneyland tickets. We all of my time was spent with my kids growing up, whether we were skiing in the winter, the Big Bear vacations at Disney 2 to 3 times a week. Every week, all of that stuff. So I looked at it and I thought, man, how much money do I need to live the kind of life that I really want to live? I don't know if that was right or wrong. It was just it was right for me. And now I'm doing certain things like shit. I don't know if you like. I've been on the road now for it seems like almost 2 months, and I'm leaving again in a couple of days, heading up to Idaho. And then I tell myself, I'm supposed to come home from Idaho, and I'm going to slow down a little bit. But then as soon as I get home from Idaho, I'm jumping on the motorcycle. I'm driving out to Vegas because I'm going to spend some time with my Kajukenbo martial arts buddies. And then when I come home, I'm going to slow down a little bit for like a month or two before I hit the road again and head back to Carolina and Florida. And I got a big trip planned with the motorcycle. But
Brian, when it comes down to it, we've got to get good at something.
Yeah.
Right. And so if we're growing our kids, and I've been trying to rack my brain trying to figure out exactly where I read it, but I think it was Dr. Daniel Amen was talking about it, and then in his book, but he was saying, there's certain doctor that is the ADD doctor. Like he is the master at getting these kids off of ADD medicine.
Yeah.
So he cures them of ADD with no medication.
Yeah.
And his whole process is enrolling the mother, the father, the teachers in helping this kid learn one thing. What does this kid love? What is he into? What is his biggest desire? We're going to teach him that one thing. He's going to read it. He's going to read about it. He's going to study it. He's going to write about it. Everything's focused on that one thing for one reason, to build his confidence. And what they found is that as his confidence grows in that one area, everything gets better. It's not just the reading. It's not just the math. His whole life gets better because he built confidence in one freaking area. So get good at something.
Yeah,
you're not good at something,
everything is connected to everything. Yeah.
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 Absolutely.
And a lot of times you can ask, like, and you know this as an executive coach is like, you can, if someone's accomplished anything, whatever that one thing is, like something that they've done, you ask them, like, well, what did you do? Give me every step that you did to achieve that, whatever that is. And they give it to you and they'll say, okay, everything you just told me, we're going to apply to this right here. And those are the same exact steps that we're going to do to get your business to the next level, to get this to the whatever, your relationship with your wife, with your kids, with your friends, all of that stuff. It's not rocket science, but it ain't going to happen by accident. And I think that's what a lot of people are waiting on, is for it to happen for them and to them. And that's not going to happen. You've got to make it happen. You've got to be the one to get up every day and take the action, deliver it to reach something higher.
It's interesting. Brendan Bouchard was talking in a training that I was listening to. He says, you've already met the person who is going to make you that first $1 million, or who is going to help you make the second $1 million. Says you already met him.
Yeah.
The problem is you're just too damn lazy to talk to him. Those are my words, not his. Right? Those are my words, not his. He says you're just too lazy to tap. You've been holding yourself back so much that you haven't talked to them. Either you're nervous about it, you're not feeling right about it, but you just haven't been bold enough to reach out to the people in your own network that can help you get to the next level.
100%. I love what Jim Rohn said is, I wish for everyone to earn $1 million, and not for the money, but for the type of person you have to become to earn $1 million.
Yeah.
And you hear it, you kind of it just washes over you. But when you think about it, man, that statement is so freaking powerful, because you have to go through so much. You have to go through so much negativity and so many rejections and so many this and so many late nights and early mornings. And it's the person that you become when you earn that $1 million. It's not the money, because once you've done it once, you can do it again and again. You just take the same steps over and over again.
You say that. It's very interesting. Alex Hormozy was talking about goals and how people set goals that are just so low. He says, you know what? You could set $100,000 a year goal. You can set $200,000 a year goal. Even $300,000, you could probably do $300,000 on your own. But if you're going to hit $1 million, man, you're going to have to think differently. You're going to have to leverage other people's efforts. There's a different level of thinking that takes place when you're going for $1 million than takes place if you're going for $100,000 or $200,000. And he says, think differently, think bigger, so that you get there faster.
Yeah,
that was really powerful for me.
Yeah, big time. I wanted to talk. We're running out of time. I want to get to winter is coming, but I do want whoever's listening is another lady that follows me on Facebook, and we kind of debate back and forth. She's a big time Democrat, and I love her for it. She was just
Hi. Love you.
Because most Democrats really just want they want to help people. They want to give them welfare. They want to give them free health care. And they want to do this. And I'm like, dude,
Big hearts.
Yeah,
Big hearts.
you're not helping them. It's just you don't help people by giving them stuff. You help them by teaching them how to earn it. Because again, it goes back to self-esteem. But but still, I don't. I love everybody. But she had posted something about the founding fathers when they wrote the Constitution. They had muskets that took 7 seconds to load, and they didn't have the internet, and they didn't have. And she named all this new technology shit. And she was like, "Yeah, so we need to think about that." And I said, "No, what you need to do is what they're not doing in schools is you need to educate yourself on every individual that signed the Declaration of Independence and the Congress people." I said, "You need to realize what they went through at the time." And she made it seem like they're all these old white rich men. And I'm like, you have absolutely no clue about history. And I didn't either. Trust me, I had to read a lot of different books. And what I really want people to listen, if you're listening to it right now, is research the philosophers that influenced our founding fathers, George Washington, James Adams, and all of them. Just back in the 1600s, like John Locke and Baron de Montesquieu and Jean Rosier, but these philosophers back in 1600s who were saying is like, hey man, it's the individual. You shouldn't have to be born in like the monarchy, and you can never rise above what you were born into. And it's like all of these philosophers, especially John Locke, were writing like published the glorious revolution in favor of the treaties, whereas the divine right of kings, the more influential. So the second treaties, and he had to write these just like Thomas Paine. They had to write them like anonymous because if they found out who was writing this crap, they'd be killed. Debates Locke was chiefly radical, apologizing for capitalism, social media. But Locke says that mankind's original condition is a state of perfect freedom, and that whole. We should be able to the pursuit of happiness and liberty and a state, all of that. It was, and then people go, well, man, but they had slaves back then. I'm like, everybody had slaves back then. I just came today. I just watched the freaking movie Sound of Freedom. There's more slaves. There's more slaves right now than there's ever been in the history of the planet. Yep. I said, but it was written deliberately with. Men are all created equal because they all had slaves, but some of them didn't want the slaves. But they knew, England ruled for a long time because all these little tribes couldn't get their shit together. The Americans, with all the, you just said your mom, your grandmother was raised on a reservation. I'm from the Cherokee Indian and the Walk of Tears in North Carolina. My tribe came from, but all of these thousands of different tribes over here couldn't get together. They were fighting each other. So they knew these 13 colonies. They're like, man, we've got to unite if we're going to try to do anything. So let's do whatever we got to do in this moment of time to come together and fight this big country called England, which had never been beaten before. I mean, but it was these philosophers. So just, research the philosophers that influenced the founding fathers. I don't know. It just, I could go on and on and on and on about it, but I want to get to the whole winter is coming thing. Have you ever heard of the philosophers that influenced them?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Have I read a lot about what they wrote? No. I haven't done a lot of research on it. I just know that anything that I have read with the founding fathers, about the founding fathers, the sacrifices they made, you know what? There are certain things, certain moves that they made that could not have had happened, could not have been made had there not been divine influence, had there not been the divine presence through the entire process to make that happen. The difference is I firmly believe that the Constitution, that these men were put together and came at the right place at the right time for a specific purpose, which was to truly bring a free people back to the planet, where people could truly operate as free people. And what have they been trying to do ever since? They've been trying to destroy it ever since it was created.
And they're trying to erase the history. They're trying to. They don't want to teach the history. They're trying to erase the history and change the history. But all these philosophers in the 1600s who knew this, United States was the first country in the history of the planet to have that and go, man, we've got a slate here, a clean slate that we can try this stuff and see if it really works. And man, has it worked. The individual right, the personal responsibility to, if you want to work hard, you can get rewarded for that working hard. To what they're doing to the country now is just heartbreaking.
Well, Brian, and let's clarify something. We are not a democracy.
Yeah.
We are a republic.
Yes.
We were never designed to be a democracy. If we were a democracy, most of the country would never be represented.
Yeah. And most people don't even realize there's a difference between the two. Kills me.
Huge difference.
Kills me.
Oh, but this is so dangerous to our democracy. You know what? Never mind. Right now. I have a few things to say about that, but I'll keep that to myself.
So this last subject, winter is coming, and that's what I kind of even titled the podcast. And we said earlier, like you said, you walked up to the dude at he's reading a book and he's trying to stock the shelf, and like, well, Walmart paid me more, I would do more. And it's like that ain't ever going to happen. That's the dude who says, God, please, if you give me a crop this year, I'm going to plant twice next year. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. You plant the seeds in the spring, and you work your ass off all through and right now, the middle of the summer is the most time, because that's when the heat is there. That's when, if you ain't pulling the weeds are going to strangle and kill the seed. The plant's never going to grow. You got to get that water. Yeah, before you used to sit around and pray, hope it would rain. But nowadays we have the irrigation to where you can water when you need to water, but you've got to work it. You got to work it so that in the fall you can reap what you sowed. You can get the harvest. And right now, so many businesses, and I'll say construction businesses, but it's every business, is winter is coming. And right now is when you should be working the hardest so that you can reap during the winter. So you have so much access. And I grew up in North Carolina to where, man, we sit around, we did this thing, shuck corn. To where but during the summer I had to pick tobacco and I had to pick cucumbers, because that was the money that we used to go and do our school shopping. Right. So if you didn't work during the summer, you didn't have like to go get your school clothes and you get your school supplies. So you worked as a kid, you worked your ass off in the fields so that you had a little bit of money to go and get this stuff. And that should be brought back.
But Brian, that's why I worked all summer. That's why I worked every summer in Jersey, installing hardwood floors in the heat of those gymnasiums. Man, they don't turn on the AC during the summertime.
No, there's no reason to.
Yeah, that's how I bought my school clothes. That's how I paid for dates and all that other kind of stuff that you do when you're in high school. But
it is
crazy.
So winter is coming. Meaning right now, when you think things are good, it's when you should be doing all the shit that I'm telling guys to do. In no matter what your business is, I don't care if you're a hair salon, a plumber, a painter, a flooring guy, a lawyer. I don't care what it is that you do as a business owner. You go to Google and you type in one question, and Google will give you probably an infinite amount of other questions that people go to Google and search. So every one of those, and I tell these guys that I work with, Dave, contractors, I'm like, how many have you, I keep saying Google and my phone is going off, is every one of those questions that Google tell you people are on the internet asking, you should be making videos, at least one a day, 2 a day, 3 a day. Answer those questions. Be the guy who answers those questions. You will eventually be the guru in your area. To be like, oh my God, that's the guy I see on YouTube all the time. That's the guy I see on Facebook all the time, answering the questions. Don't try to sell shit. Answer the questions. And I'm telling you, a fraction of the guys are doing it. They'll do 1 or 2 videos, and they're busy right now. So they're like, I don't need to do the videos. Okay, bitch. When winter comes and you're like, hey man, the phone's not ringing. I'm like, well, where's all those videos I told you to do? Oh, I'll get on it. Too late. It's too late. Winter's here.
Brian, I had a guy reach out to me the other day, and he's like, you know what? I've been following you for 15 years. I'm like, 15 years? Like, that's a long time.
I'm not that old.
I've been doing this for 15 years. Goes,
I'm not that old.
I've been following your process for 15 years, and I'm ready. Let's do some business. 15 years. Now, granted, during COVID, I went live every day for, I don't know, it was like 450 times in a row, 450 days in a row. It was a lot. It was a bunch of times. But the whole concept was get your voice out there. Be heard. Your first one's going to be terrible, but you'll get better as you go along. people have to get to know us. They have to know
Yeah.
who we are. They're not going to do business with us. We do business with people we know, like, and trust.
Yeah.
So
100%.
so we have to do that now. And you say winter's coming. Hell, we've been in winter for a couple of years.
Yeah.
But here's the problem. It's at the very beginning. Right? We're at the beginning of winter. It's not the end of winter. And your mindset's going to be the difference between whether we continue to push forward and make money, or whether you're going to your business is going to die like the majority. Right? The actions we take now, like you said, the actions we take right now will determine whether we're dying or whether we're living. And I don't mean literally, but figuratively, your business living or dying in the next year, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah. And so this podcast is live on Facebook in a couple of different groups. I think it's on Twitter live. It's definitely on my YouTube channel live. As a construction business, I get very, very little business from my Facebook page, and I don't want the Facebook business because I'm at a different place than most contractors. If I was very, very new in the beginning, I'd be trying to get business wherever it came from. I wouldn't care. But I've realized over the years, it takes about 25 phone calls from Facebook to equal 1 phone call from Google. So because people go to Google specifically looking for something, they're on Facebook, they should be at work, they're scrolling, they see the ads, all the other stuff. But I tell these guys, you should be doing minimum 1 Facebook Live a day. I want them doing 3 Facebook Lives a day. And they're like, well, you don't get business from Facebook. I'm like, no, but when I'm on YouTube, or if I use my phone, and maybe Apple phone is different, but if I try to do a video, because I always start the video off with me. I want people to see me. And it's not that I'm vain. It's the fact that I want them to get used to seeing me. Yes. So when they call and I show up at their house, they're like, oh my God, you're the dude from the internet. Yes, I am. I'm that dude, but I want them to see me. So I'll push play on Facebook Live, and I'll talk to the homeowner and I'll tell them what they're getting ready to see. And we're working on this project, or I'm getting ready to answer this question, because we get a lot of these questions on Google. How do you do this? How do you do that? I'm getting ready to answer that. I'm going to show you guys, and then I'll hit the button and turn it around. If I'm just using my phone as a video recording, my Google phone doesn't let me turn it around. So I love Facebook for that. But then I turn it around and I show them, here's this, we're going to do this and that. And Facebook is just so easy. Anyone that works for us has access. They're on our Facebook page to where anybody can do it. Any of our employees. So I'm saying, look, man, there's no reason. In the morning you say, hey, we're going to be doing this. This is what we're going to try to do. I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to show you. At lunchtime, they get to go live again. They say, hey, getting ready to sit down for lunch. Here's how much we've got done. We've got so much done in the last 3 hours. I'm going to give you guys an update. Take a look at this. Boom, boom. But all of those, and then at the end of the day, here's how much we clean up. This is blah, blah, blah. Well, if you're not working, good. You get to go through your van. You get to go through your garage. You get to go through your shop. You show them every little tool that you think is unimportant to the homeowner. It's important. What is that tool? What'd you do with that? How you do it? Should I use it? All of that stuff. There's no reason not to be doing videos, because those videos get downloaded from Facebook, uploaded to YouTube, then taglines and tags and hashtags and all this other stuff. And it's just more content, more content, more content. And then we use that for the sales process. Over and over again. And it's all on my YouTube channel of how to build a business. But these guys who are sitting around right now, a little bit busy or somewhat busy, thinking they don't need to do anything. And then it never fails. I get calls every freaking right before Thanksgiving. Man, the phone stopped ringing. Can you get it to ring? No, but you're the marketing guy. So I'm not the magician. I said, and all these guys who are lying to you, saying they can get your phone ringing this week, they're going to take your money, and then you're going to be crying to me next week going, I give that guy $3,000 and didn't get anything for it. Yeah, no shit. I told you wasn't going to. It's like,
I told you to work during the wintertime.
Yes, man. I'm telling you. And it's like, I'm telling you guys, winter is coming, and how well your winter is depends on what you do right now, every day for the next 6 months.
Do you use that Captions app for your videos?
I don't think so. Which one is it? Tell me about it.
It's Captions. So I use Captions app. So I record myself. I hit the little button. It automatically creates the captions for it. So it in real time, it's taking every word I say. It's laying it over my face or wherever it is. I can move it around on the screen. And then I hit another little button. It'll fix my eye contact. Let's say I'm not looking at the camera a lot. It'll fix my eye contact so it looks like I'm looking at the camera. And then it will also, they'll put little pictures up in corners, like full editing, just in just a couple minutes. So I
Really?
can take that.
And
I
that's
hit
called
another
caption
little
that.
button. Yeah, I hit another little button, and that it produces the title, the description, and the hashtags. So I literally copy and paste. I go from Facebook to YouTube to TikTok to LinkedIn, and I put it in all those places, and I'm done in 15 minutes.
Wow. Yeah, because
15 minutes. You just bought 2 hours of your life back.
yeah, not only that, or you save some money because I'm paying someone to do all that.
Yeah, that's $10 a month.
Yeah. Wow.
For Captions app.
Captions app. I'm gonna look it up.
And I don't know, you probably can put your intro and outro on it. I haven't even tried that. I just, you know me, I'm just recording it. Because I didn't have a lot of people on my lives, so I just started recording the videos and uploading the videos, and I get more views that way.
When our construction business, any construction business, there's not 1,000 homeowners sitting there waiting for you to go live. That's not what it's for. Yeah. It's like I don't care if one person is watching it. I just want the damn video so it's on the internet everywhere.
Correct.
Through Google Maps and Google My Business and YouTube and Twitter and, like you said, everywhere. And then we're sending these links to homeowners who they're describing their house or their project. And even as they're on the phone with us, got them on speakerphone, they're describing it. I'm doing right here. I'm on YouTube. I'm grabbing that link and I just hit send. I said, I just sent you a link of a house we did last week. Pretty much the same thing that you're describing right now. So, oh my God. Oh, it is like all of it. It's everything. Everything is connected to everything. So I'm telling you, winter is coming. You better start working your ass off. And with that, Dave, we've been here over an hour. Man, I appreciate you showing up and sharing. Just two Adamses is always better than one. I don't know what to say.
Absolutely, Brian. Absolutely, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate your time,
give us some like either your website or your Twitter page or your some links.
David Adams Speaks. You can catch me at David Adams Speaks at any of the platforms, and that's where I'm at. You can come watch the videos. Come hang out with me for a bit.
David Adams Speaks.
Yep.
Hey, David, do you have a website yet?
DavidAdamsSpeaks.com. Don't go there
Speaks.
Today because it's under construction because I'm updating it, but it'll be up for a little bit.
Your Facebook page is David Adams Speaks, correct?
Yeah, everything is David Adams Speaks from YouTube to Facebook.
Yeah, you got. I don't. Would I be lying if I said you had over 1,000 videos?
I don't know. That's good. That's a good question.
I don't think so. It'd be close.
Yeah.
Way
not enough. Not enough.
Yeah.
According to Gary Vee, I'm struggling. I gotta get out there and make more content.
It's because I've been like I didn't do anything the last couple of weeks, and it's just me, and I'm like I beat myself up about it. And so today I just said, man, I just got to go live and start talking to these guys, share some of this stuff that's on my mind, and get more consistent with it. I'm glad you showed up. And me and David,
I'm glad you invited me 2 minutes before the podcast.
I know. I said, damn it, and then you showed up and said, what the heck? He's over here watching. He's supposed to be
know this content, if I know what we're going to talk about in advance, but I come prepared.
No, you're already prepared, brother. You live it. You live it every day. You wake up prepared. I could wake you up at 3 a.m. and you'd give me the answers. I know that because we've been hanging out for over 20 years.
Yeah, it's true.
Over 20 years, we watched each other grow old.
Speak for yourself, bro.
Grow healthy.
Come on.
We're freaking because me and you can relate. Like another one of my buddies from Special Forces that who told me to go to CrossFit. He's like, just try it. And I'm like, dude, I don't want to pick up no tires. And he goes, oh my God, if I hear pick up a tire at CrossFit one more time, I'll kill somebody. He goes, just take your ass over there. And I did and loved every minute of it. And I know you're a big CrossFit guy.
Speaking of the medals and the trophies and all this for nothing, I ran a race the other day. Ran it. I got my participation trophy. And I'm like, what the hell do you want me to do with this thing? I didn't win this. And I compare that to the trophy that I got with CrossFit competition. I'm like, now I earned that shit.
Yeah.
That other one, keep that. I don't want that. Save the medal.
Yeah. And
at least the one was meaningful to me because I did something for it.
Yeah. And the best thing is this right here is CrossFit never gets easier. You only get better.
Yes. And then the workouts just get harder.
They get harder and harder. So people say, hey, man, when's this going to get easier? I said, it's not.
Never.
Never. You just get better. And I think that's what life is in business is it really never get you kind of think it gets easier, but if it's getting easier, it's because you're not pushing yourself more that you should be. You're not reaching that next goal. You're not trying to grow that company. You're not trying to spend more time with your family and make more money. And I always use Henry Ford, his biography when creating the Ford company. It's every year his goals, 3 goals, was to pay his employees more, to charge less for the vehicle, and give the clients more. And it's like, when you do the math on that, it should be impossible. But it wasn't. He was trying to give a better deal to the consumer and pay the employees more, and as a company make more profit. And it's like, wait a minute, you can't do those 3 things. And he was like, yes, we just got to get more efficient. We got to get more efficient. We got to push ourselves. We got to do this better. We got to do this better. And when you apply that in every area of your life, it just seems to work if you track it.
If you track your daily method of operations and you actually do the thing with a review every week to make sure, okay, where did I mess up? How did I fall short? Okay, all right, I didn't get all of the things that I'm supposed to do in my daily method of operations done. Why?
Yeah.
What prevented you from doing it?
Yeah.
Right, now prevent that thing from happening the next week so that we get it done.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's one thing to, okay, something got in the way. But if that same thing gets in the way every week, well, now we have a discipline problem.
Yes.
Right? Now we got to remove some barriers, set up some boundaries, do some things a little bit differently.
Yeah.
And it's just, you don't know that if you don't track it.
Yeah.
You got to track it.
You got to track it. And it's like, guys will tell me like, oh man, well, I set this goal and blah, 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 and I didn't achieve it. And I'm like, well, why didn't you achieve it? Well, I don't know. I said, there's the problem. You don't know. You should know why you didn't achieve it. You look back at your daily, write everything down, and you know what the hell's going on. So even if you don't, you so-called fail, you didn't really fail, but if you didn't achieve what you thought you were going to achieve, you're able to look back at all your notes from every day and go, shit.
Brian,
this didn't happen.
My coach put it this way. He says, okay, so you didn't get what you wanted. Show me your calendar.
Yeah.
And you pull out the calendar. It's like, okay, so where is that thing showing up on your calendar?
Yeah.
Because I'm not seeing it anywhere on your calendar.
Exactly.
Like you told me you tried everything. you show me the spreadsheet. Oh, you don't have a spreadsheet. Okay, show me your calendar. Oh, there's nothing on your damn calendar. No wonder. You didn't plan it, so you didn't do it.
Yeah.
It's simple.
Yeah, it's like Jerome Owen used to say, well, how you doing in life? And you go, I don't know. He goes, well, let's count. What do you mean let's count? Let's look at your bank statement. I know money's not everything, but let's just start there. Someone who's got no money in the bank probably has high cholesterol. Because it's just, let's just count. So anyway, man, I appreciate you. Everyone watching this, I know appreciate you. David Adams Speaks everywhere. Facebook, YouTube, look it up. Guys, I'm going to try to get to Idaho in time to be with Anthony in studio. But, man, appreciate you, Dave.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.